right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to UNT in the Community. I'm your host, Pastor James Jackson. Good to be with you on this afternoon, on this overcast day in the city of Indianapolis. And I hope that you are doing well on this afternoon. 317-972-3008. 317-972-3008 is the number that you will need to call to be connected to the show on today. And of course, at the beginning of the year, we're always talking about wellness and health. And certainly, public safety is an area of health and something where wellness is concerned that we always want to be talking about and staying out in front of. So, welcome to the show on today. I want to thank you for being faithful listeners, consistent listeners. We are live AM 1310, 95.1 FM. Praise Indy. Also streaming on this afternoon on my Facebook page, James William Jackson, also YouTube and on LinkedIn today. So certainly would like to hear from you on today, some things that we'd like to talk about. I'm going to start the show out talking about our current public safety reality in the city of Indianapolis and how you can help us, how you can help to make Indianapolis a safer place to live in. But before we get to that, let's have a word of prayer. Father, we thank you for this time of fellowship. We thank you for all of those who are in our listening audience and those who are in our viewing audience across Indiana and around the United States and some places around the world. We give you praise and glory and honor for what you have done. We thank you for the opportunity that we have to share together on today. Your word says we are to work for the peace of the city. When the city has peace, then we'll all have peace. And so, whatever assignment that you've given us, whatever area that you have gifted us to work in, we pray that you would help us to do the best that we can possibly do in those areas of work and service. Help us to love you more. Help us to love each other more. Help us to serve one another to the best of our ability. We look to you. You are the author and the finisher of our faith. We thank you for this city. We thank you for the mayor, Mayor Hawksett. We thank you for the city council, those 25 folks who work for the good of our community. We thank you for all of our public safety partners, educators. We thank you for our faith leaders. We thank you for folks working in family services, business owners. We thank you for legacy media, social media. We thank you for everybody who's doing everything that they possibly can to make this city the best city in the United States of America and quite possibly around the world. You said you would help us, and we believe that you will help us to do those things that are necessary and needed to have a safe city. And we give you praise and we give you glory and we give you honor in Jesus' name. Amen and amen. Again, the number to call on today to be a part of the show as we talk about our current public safety reality in the city of Indianapolis is 972-3008. Again, that's 317-972-3008. Again, 317-972-3008. Had a wonderful time on last evening at a Martin Luther King event with Bishop Derek Jefferson and the Amaji group over at his church at over his church at 54th and Keystone. It was just a wonderful event there. Bishop Harris was just a tremendous speaker, one of the best sermons that I've heard on an MLK service, during an MLK service, I should say. And a lot of wonderful people came out, and some wonderful awards were given to some significant community servants, and just had a wonderful time on last night at that Martin Luther King service. Of course, MLK Day coming up on Monday. Some of you all will probably be off, and there will be other events that'll be taking place that you can go to and be a part of to celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King and all of the things that he did and the service that he gave to our community. So enjoy the weekend leading up to MLK Day. Indianapolis. We used to have about 100 homicides a year. I remember, of course, my father moved us here when I was 11 years old. I grew up in Muncie, Indiana until about 11 years old. And then my father got a job here in Indianapolis. And that's how I ended up here in this city at 11 years old, so many years ago. And back then, when we were living in Muncie, I remember when we were getting ready to move to Indianapolis, there were people talking about how dangerous Indianapolis was. Of course, back then, it wasn't very dangerous, I don't think. Maybe it was for people who were living here, but not as many homicides, certainly not near 200 each year like we have now. But it used to be on the average, we'd have about maybe 100, maybe 99, 100 homicides. And then in the 90s, that number went up where it was in the 140s and the 150s. And then it went up a little higher than that. And then came down in the early 2000s under 100 for a while there, about 3 or 4 years. And then those numbers in 2015, 16, 17 started creeping back up. And there was just a little bit of relief on last year where things going in the right direction. But we are still at a place where our current public safety reality is not the best that it can be. So just overnight, some of the numbers that I was looking for and making sure that I could bring to the show to talk to you about so we could talk about it together. Um, just latest violence overnight, 32 people shot. And if you're not watching the news, and it's kind of hard to and difficult to keep up with this stuff because a lot of us we're not into legacy media too much anymore. Social media has pretty much taken over. So you don't have 6, 8, 13, Channel 4, Fox 59. Of course, we still watch a lot of those channels, but those used to be the only channels that you can get your news. But now you have YouTube News, Google News, and so many other different Apple News. You have so many other news outlets, and sometimes local news falls through the cracks. And then even a lot of this stuff does not make it into the local news. The Indianapolis Star used to have this stuff, it would end up on the front page, but now we don't have too many physical newspapers out there. And if you want the Indianapolis Star or the Indianapolis Recorder and different news media like that, in print media, then you have to go buy it, and you just don't see it like you used to. So a lot of this stuff we don't see it like we used to. So it's not out in front of us, and we might not be thinking about it. So it doesn't have the same impact, which is a problem. And I think that there should be some kind of way, and maybe there is, but maybe there should be some way where we're getting this on a regular basis. Now, a lot of people may say, well, we don't want that because we don't want people to think that our city is a violent city. It may have a deleterious effect on bringing businesses here and different things like that. But in reality, there's a lot going on in Indianapolis. And so some of this data here, I had to go find it. And just overnight, 32 people shot. How about that? Just overnight, not in a week, just overnight. Well, no, I take that back. 32 people shot. Let me back that up. 32 people shot, 11 people stabbed, with 11 people killed in 18 days for 2025. So make sure I'm clear on that. 32 people shot, 11 people stabbed, with 11 people killed in 18 days for 2025 so far. So not 32 people shot in one night. All those shots fired may exceed that, but specifically 32 people shot, 11 people stabbed, with 11 people killed in 18 days for 2025. So that's certainly headed in the wrong direction. And that's 43 people shot or stabbed so far this year. 43 people shot or stabbed so far this year. And it used to be people weren't getting stabbed too much. I mean, you would hear of a stabbing every now and then, but now it seems like you hear about stabbings much more often, along with people who are getting shot. So that makes 11 homicides in 18 days with the city on pace of 223 homicides for 2025 unless interrupted. And so this is just information that I gathered, and some people may have a different perspective or a different opinion or different data, but this is some of the data that I was able to find. So again, that makes 11 homicides in 18 days with the city on pace of 223 homicides for 2025 unless interrupted. And that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that we interrupt these trends. And so here we are on the 18th of January, and these people are not coming back. These people are not coming back. They are gone. And these are our friends. These are our family members as a city. And that's just too many. And when you start talking about double digits in just the first 18 days of the year, that's almost a person a day, y'all. Way too many. The goal of, certainly the goal is zero, and we've exceeded that already. And we wish that it was zero for months and months into the year, and that it would be rare that we would hear of anybody getting shot or killed. It used to be that way. Like I said, when I first came to Indianapolis at 11 years old, 12, 13, 14, and you'd hear about it, and it was just so rare. And then when you did hear about it, it would make the front page of the news, and then there would be a swell of interest. There would be a swell of activity trying to get people together and to get things going in a different direction. And what's interesting is that we just don't hear about these things, and we just don't see the activity like we used to see it. So everybody can do something, and I think that there are a lot of people who are doing different things that they can. There was one story um, that I saw on Facebook, and this is a 14-year-old girl, Deandra J. Clay Staples, and she was found shot to death outside the Laurelwood Apartments. 14 years old. This one happened, as I understand it, on January 11th, 2025. 14-year-old young lady, and just a sweet looking, on Facebook, just a sweet looking little lady. And she's 14 years old, but she didn't look 14. She looked even younger than 14 in the pictures. It just breaks my heart. I reposted this on my Facebook page. I don't think that this case has been solved yet. I don't think it's been solved yet, but it was shared on social media, I think in excess of 8,000 shares, and still it is not solved. The police certainly cannot do it by themselves. They need information, and there are several other cases like Deandra, and hopefully I'm pronouncing her name correctly, just 14 years old. And I thought about this. And I had posted something not related to this issue the other day because I do a lot of prayer and I do a lot of fitness stuff. And I was going through the comments because I always go back through my comments after my first hour prayer ministry that I do every day at 6:30 a.m. It was like 800 comments. And I was going through there, and there was a lady who said, "Nothing has been said by any of the ministers." And I'm just quoting what she said. She said, "Nothing has been said about by any of the ministers in the community about what happened to Deandra." And I thought about that for several days thereafter. And I remember when Pastor Arthur Sample, when his son was shot and killed out on the far east side of Indianapolis. It was his grandson, but he had taken him on as his son for a lot of different reasons. And I remember back then, um, several years ago, where it was just a lot of us, community leaders, elected officials, Mike Epps, just a lot of people came out over there on the far east side of Indianapolis, and there was a lot of effort and a lot that was going on around that situation. And of course, subsequently, the clergy and elected officials and leaders have come out and done marches and different things when these kinds of things happen. And with this particular situation, with Deandra, now I don't know if there was a prayer vigil. I don't know if there was a march. I don't know if there was anything on the south side of Indianapolis about this. But more importantly, the case, as far as I know, has not been solved yet. And they used to say the streets know. When things like this happen, the streets know who did it. And so 11 o'clock in the day, and in the snow, and 14 years old. And that's kind of where we are, y'all. She's part of those numbers that I gave you at the start of the show, when we're in the first 18 days of 2025. And we have 11 homicides, 43 shot and or stabbed so far this year. And that's the trend. So we have to make sure that we are keeping our intensity up on these kinds of things, and that we are coming together and trying to get as much information as we can to people who can bring to justice the people who commit these crimes. Indianapolis cannot become a city commodious to commit murder in. And people who would kill people, if they are not afraid of being caught, if the clearance rates are low, and the clearance rates are the ability of law enforcement to solve these cases. And if those clearance rates are low, now national clearance rates are in the 60%, and Indianapolis, somewhere, I think, in the 50s or so. We would certainly like to see those numbers much higher, but police cannot do it by themselves. They have to have help from the people in the community. So our public safety reality is not very good right now. And where this young lady is concerned, so tragic and so frustrating that she was killed. And then, of course, that her case, as far as I know, has not been solved yet. And if it has been, maybe you would call us at 972 3008 317 972 3008 and let us know that it has been. But as far as I know, it has not been solved. She was a freshman at a local high school, dedicated member of the G3 Steppers, a community step team, just a beautiful young lady. And she's gone. She's gone like many others. And it used to be we were trying to save our seed. I remember initiatives by the Indiana Black Expo and other Black civic agencies where we were trying to save young men. And there were a lot of programs in the 90s and the early 2000s where we were trying to figure out how to save Black young men. Now, all ethnic groups get killed in Indianapolis, but it disproportionately impacts Black people. And this young lady was Black female. And we have seen a trend over the last few years of more and more and more Black females getting killed in Indianapolis. Who would have ever thought that we will be facing trying to save our female seed as well as the male seed? Now, you have to understand that we are at an apocalyptic state in the situation when it comes to public safety. And when you look that word up, apocalyptic, you begin to see that when you have Black men and you have Black females being killed in America and right here in Indianapolis at the rate that it's happening, you are in trouble. We are in trouble as a people, as a culture. Because if you lose the Black male and you lose the Black female, where are Black people coming from? And this is a 14-year-old young lady. And she's not the only one. If you go back just a few years, we have had numerous Black females now that are being killed. And that's a trend that cannot and must not continue. 317 972 3008. 317 972 3008. I want to know what you think about it. I want to know what you have to say about it. We got to take a quick break. We'll be back after this.
30 seconds, stand by.
All right, y'all, welcome back to the show. We're talking about the current public safety reality here in Indianapolis. We're on track 223 homicides for 2025, unless the trend is interrupted. 32 people shot, 11 stabbed, with 11 people killed in 18 days, 2025. Violent start. I'm going to go to Bob. Bob, welcome to the program. Thank you.
Where's Indy? Who's calling? Where's Indy? Who's calling? Hello, where's Indy?
All right, Bob, thank you for your call and comment. I'm going to go to Larry. Larry, welcome to the program. Good.
And what we got to realize is the people that shot that girl 2 times in the back of her head are still at large, right? That's never considered. But, I was over at the State House. I was over there Wednesday and Friday, right? Now, the Democrats don't have anything to go. Pro Tem Bray have already told them to come in and sit down and be quiet. They passed that bill about the schools Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock. They came in session at 10 o'clock. They hit the gavel at 10:20. They did not allow any amendments. They did not allow anybody to speak on it. And it went on through. So it's going over to the House to be passed next because it's the same story over there. What people have to realize is that all this thing that the schools was set up by Bart Peterson, Glenn Howard, and Bill Crawford. They done that when the Democrats were in control over at the State House. So, it comes back on us. And every one of these charter schools is sponsored or operated by black people. So we need to get off of that kick. But, it's really sad to see how our families have degenerated. You know, even in slavery, Pastor Jackson, the man was still in the home trying to raise his family, and it was a better situation. So if you got people now talking about DEI, right? There's nothing they can do about that. The order have already been signed, and I'm glad it was signed too. When you say you need DEI, you're saying that you're inferior to white people. I mean, I don't want anybody to tell me that because it's not true. The same thing down at the Capitol yesterday. They played the speech by Martin Luther King, who was telling black people that you're still not equal after being out of slavery for almost 150 years. Who can stand up in front of somebody and tell our kids to pass on to other generations that you're not free and you're not equal? Everybody is free in America, Pastor Jackson. We need to stop grinding this situation of inferiority in, but it's only being done now by the upper echelon. You look at King Jeffries and Johnson Crackett. Those people are pimping off of misery and suffering. That's all they do. That's all they have. But it's getting ready to get loose now. And I'm so glad that Donald Trump won this election because he is going to put Matt Gaetz and deputize him as an attorney general to deal with these people who have been out here committing crimes, stealing from government. Look all over YouTube, Pastor Jackson. Wherever they rule, it's always crime and embezzlement. These false women mayors are being evicted from their offices and stuff because they embezzle money, because of the lifestyle that they want to lead. So, you know, you have to look at it. They don't care. And I mean, I was listening to a couple other shows on your station. They don't even care about this young girl that got slaughtered yesterday. It wasn't even a point of discussion. But if the police kill somebody, yeah, they're going to be out in the street trying to burn people's business down because of that, and building a statue to George Floyd, a fentanyl addict. And then how can you expect them to respect life when they just voted for some woman who supports transgenderism? She supports abortion to the 9th month. How can you expect our kids to think any better? Thanks, Pastor.
All right, Larry, thanks for your call and comment. Got to move on. Going to truth. And again, certainly want to hear from you all. Our community, 317-972-3008, about 14-year-old Deandra J. Clay Staples, shot and killed January 11th, start of this year. And as I said, the problem that we were facing, crisis, which I am saying is at an apocalyptic level, was trying to save our young men. Now we've got our young women in here, where black men, black males, and black females are being exterminated on our streets. Truth, welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, Pastor Jackson.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I like the term agree to disagree, and I agree with some points of what Bob said and some points that that the other caller just stated. In reference to Bob, yes, I'm with him in reference to there's a lot of homes without fathers, and that's one of the causes. And two, I think possibly we might need to do research in reference to those individuals last year and this year that killed individuals. Was it because they took advantage of the governor signing that bill where you don't gotta have a permit? Also, in reference to Bob, I disagree with him in reference to and also the other call about other radio stations. I mean, others that's on this station here that did not talk about it. And the last point is this: just keep the others in prayer. Thank you very much.
All right, True. Thank you for your call and comment. And I'm not sure who may or may not have talked about this particular case, particularly with 14-year-old Deandra J. Clay Staples, but certainly we're talking about it today. And it's certainly something that had been talked about on social media. And we have to keep these kinds of things on the boil. We can never become desensitized to things like this. And I don't think that we are. I think people are exasperated, frustrated, because there are people who have been working on this problem for decades, and multitudes of millions of dollars have been spent in programs. And here we are in 2025, 11 days into the new year, and a 14-year-old black female is gunned down and left to die in the snow. It's terrible, absolutely awful. And we have to make sure that Indianapolis is not that city where it is commodious to commit murder in. That is the thing. And if these cases are not solved, then you have people, whoever did that, and with 8,000 some odd shares on social media and the case is still not solved, understanding that that's a big problem. Because I don't think out of that many thousands of people, of course, some of those people probably don't live in Indianapolis, but just care. But I don't think there are people in Indianapolis that don't know what happened. And maybe street justice has already taken place in this city. Maybe the people that did it are no longer on the planet. We don't know. Let's go to the real Deborah. Deborah, welcome to the program. Thank you for holding.
Hey, good afternoon, Pastor Jackson. Thanks for taking my call. My condolences to that family and all families who have lost their loved ones to violence, senseless violence. It doesn't make sense, and I am appalled by the action of whoever did this and out doing the things that they're doing. I was a person who grew up. My dad served in the military, and unfortunately, my mom was left with 3 kids. You can't control if your father's at home or not, or in the home or not. But my mother did a pretty good job raising the children that she did with the cards that she was dealt. Um, so I'll say that I agree a little bit. I wish that my dad was able to be around to help raise me. But what happened was the church and the village helped raise me. And so I'm grateful for that. Unfortunately, we have a society that does not acknowledge God. People don't reverence God anymore. The fear of God is not in people anymore, and that's unfortunate, and so we have like the word you mentioned, desensitization. People are desensitized to things like that. But I'll say this too. I'll say that oftentimes our police department, for the most part, the ones that are doing a great job, but there are a lot of them that are not and do not investigate such situations like this. My sister was murdered by her husband, and because he's a white man, they did not investigate. They still haven't. And I've talked to all types of detectives, and they will not investigate. And he murdered her. And so our IMPD police department and some of the detectives, I sat down and talked to them. I have a recorded statement from my sister on several occasions where she said if anything happened to her, he did it. And because he's a white man, they never did. They never did investigate. No autopsy because of he didn't order the autopsy. So we got things like this, situations like this, where I was a week ago Thursday, I was attacked by a white woman. I was outside. The police came up to me. They detained me, put me in handcuffs.
Mhm.
They didn't do nothing to her. This woman pulled a knife on me. And I tried to stop her from killing me. But they didn't do anything to her. But they put me in handcuffs, had me outside for about over an hour. While this woman is ranting and raving and shouting racial slurs, they didn't do anything to her. And all of them were white. So what I'm saying is there's some we dropping the ball in our community. They say if you see something, say something. But you can't. Who you gonna talk to?
All right, Deborah, we got to move.
Thanks for taking my call.
Welcome and thank you for your call and comment. Go on to John. John, welcome to the program. Thanks for holding.
Hey, praise the Lord, Pastor Jackson.
Amen.
To everyone that is calling in and everything. There's so much going on. But the real thing is that we live in a demonic time
in the Bible. And so we, as 2 Chronicles 7:14, it's a lot of us that serve God as in cliques and different things. But if we get ourselves together and really do what the Word of God says, and I want to, if you would, I want to agree with you on that young lady for her family and everything that the murder would be caught.
Mm.
But I want to agree with you according to Matthew 18:19. He said, when any two on earth touch and agree, and I'm going to agree with you right now. I'm going to agree with the family.
Yeah.
We know that God see and know exactly where they are. He know where they are. And the young lady was on the phone saying, regardless of the fact whether it's white or not, Galatians 6:7, she said, be not deceived. God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall also reap. So the things that people are doing right now, they got to ask to God. There's a payday coming for everybody. And so, but I want to agree on the city of Indianapolis, and you, Pastor Jackson, everybody know you. I mean, my Pastor John, everybody know you. But at 12 o'clock, I'm gonna try to agree. If you want to do that and put it out, let's start praying more. You know, we complain so much, but we need to start really, really praying more for this situation and everything going on. We need to bind up them spirits that's loose in this city.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of spirits loose in this city. You know, Matthew 12:46 talk about the unclean spirit when he's going out of man. He's going through places. He's killing people. We need to pray that, I'm going to get off the phone, we need to pray that the family get together and start teaching these children how to serve God and who he is, instead of sitting around. And if a child don't want to go to church in the morning, he don't want to go to church, he don't want to do that. When I came up, they made you go and learn about God. And I think that's what it is. But I appreciate you taking my call.
All right, John, thank you for your call and comment. Prayer is paramount, leads to the answer, to the program, and the power of God, and the process and the results. Yeah, we're not in a good place as a community and a culture. I saw something on YouTube. We got to take a break, but I saw something on YouTube, an emerging rapper called the Pillowcase Rapper, who has a pillowcase on his head, different designs, very artistic, very creative. And I think the creativity is extraordinary. And 50 Cent reacted to this particular rapper who is just blowing up the social media. But his lyrics are absolutely insane, insidious. Some of his lyrics, and 50 Cent was listening to the guy, and the guy was rapping, and I was listening to these lyrics, and the guy said, stealing Percocet from my mother, selling them to the youth. If the ambulance show up, I shoot at them too. And 50 Cent had a big smile on his face and said that this rapper is 10 years ahead of everybody else. That's scary. If we have a rapper who's saying that he's stealing Percocet from his mother, selling them to the youth, ambulance come, we shoot at them too. We are in trouble, y'all. We'll be back after this.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Gerald. And this is the She Said It First podcast. Now, every Thursday, we're going to be bringing you some hilarious content, okay? But it's also going to be educated. We're going to be getting into what irritated us. That part, okay? Girl, what happened? Sister to sister. We want y'all to contact us. We want you to hear from you and let us know what's going on in your life. Yes. You can check us out at urban1podcast.com or wherever you get your podcast. Yep.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to HIMSS.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
Attention Indiana residents in need of care at home. If you have Medicaid and need assistance with daily activities, you can receive in-home care from a loved one that lives with you and they get paid. Through Medicaid with no cost to you, Freedom Care, a leading in-home provider,
gives you the power to choose who provides your care, and they get paid instantly. Imagine your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid instantly. Freedom Care has over 5,000 five-star Google reviews and is a leading choice in Indiana for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's free to you through Medicaid, go to freedomcare.com or call 463-250-8638. That's 463-250-8638. 463-250-8638. Is our car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
Well, my sister just got an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Car care.
Yeah, Ox will cover our repair bills if anything happens to the car. New brakes, a transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
And we pay nothing on the repairs. Ox gets it fixed for us. Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance. What's the number?
800-204-0255. Also, Ox has a 30-day money-back guarantee and is A+ rated on the Better Business Bureau. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike the other warranty companies. We should call now. 800-204-0255.
The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-204-0255. Ask about our senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care. 800-204-0255 or go to oxcarcare.com.
All right, y'all. Evil communications corrupt good manners. So I was making reference to this emerging rapper who 50 Cent says is 10 years ahead of everybody else, with a pillowcase on his head, different designs, and these lyrics that he's spitting out are disturbing and psychotic. Is that where we're headed? Where he said that he steals Percocets from his mother, sells them to the youth. If the ambulance come, we shoot at them too. And I've heard other lyrical content like that. So if first responders are being shot at, y'all, in the black neighborhood, they're coming to help people. They ain't gonna keep coming. Fire department's not gonna come. Police are not gonna come. Ambulance are not gonna come if we got people shooting at them. And you say, well, why are you saying it? Well, we got to get out in front of this. If he's 10 years, according to 50 Cent, if he's 10 years ahead of everybody else, then this is where we're headed. And we can't accept this. We got to say, no, we don't want that. That's not. And 50 Cent has a lot of influence. And that particular video had 3.7 million views out there. This is what's matriculating. This is what's circulating in our community and in our culture. And we have to get out there and say, no, we don't accept that. We don't want that. 317-972-3008, 317-972-3008. Little Deandra J. Clay Staples, 14 years old, 11 days into the new year, killed, left for dead in the snow, brutally murdered in Indianapolis. That case, as I understand it, not solved. Maybe street justice has already taken place in this city. I don't know. Joyce, welcome to the program.
I feel sort of bad that you think street justice got to take place.
No. I didn't say. Hold on a second. I want to be clear. Hold on. I said maybe it's taking place. I said maybe it's taking place. I didn't say it has taken place, because that does happen. I said maybe. So I didn't say that that's what happened.
No, sir. That ain't what we gonna do. No.
Now, what are you saying?
What I'm saying is that ain't what we're gonna do. Community.
I'm not saying that we're doing that.
Okay, but police in our own neighborhood might be beneficial to automate.
I just want to be clear, though, Joyce.
Okay, we offer you and what I.
All right, I just want to be clear. I didn't say that. I didn't say go out and do street justice.
So that makes me.
All right, so we good. Let's move forward. Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought I did, but okay. So what we can do is they know who did what.
I agree.
Yeah, okay. So we need all the AI on these. We don't need the police to police us. If we can't have our own community police system, and that ain't a vigilante. That ain't what I'm talking. But, I'm thinking that there are some positive ways to find, and we're getting bombarded with a bunch of distractions. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on in Indiana right now, like them trying to take other parts of Illinois and incorporate it in ours. Hey, when they ain't even got our house in order, I don't know how they're going to be scratching out like that. But, it's just distractions. And Diddy and any of that, I ain't taking nothing from that basketball player that was, but that guy seemed like he already had an agenda. If you checked him out in court, he kicked back and said he did it. That was a distraction. There's so many distractions to try to keep us off focus on the actual point. And the point is that trying to incorporate or assimilate ain't benefiting us, and nor has it in the past 40, 50 years. So, that's all I'm saying. But I appreciate you letting me get my point out. Thank you.
You're welcome, Joyce.
You're welcome. Okay, thanks.
All right, have a great day. So, yeah, we're not advocating for nor recommending street justice. I said it may have already taken place because that happens where people take matters into their own hands. They should not. And I don't think that should be the case, but people are doing that. But I would hope that this case can be solved. Let's go to Andrea. Andrea, welcome to the program.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Okay.
So, we need to, as a community, first of all, the question is, where's the 10-point coalition and the whatever that group is with the preachers that's supposed to go around and praying in the neighborhoods or whatever? I don't know. I haven't really heard too much about them lately. But as a community, we have to come together. And I could just say, back almost 30-some years ago, I was trying to get my kids some mentorship. And my son was fighting with the police and arguing with the teachers, and they would not accept him at the PAL program. And those are the kids that really need help. And, nobody wants to be bothered with somebody who's going to be fighting and cussing them out. And so we definitely have to pray for the teachers. But as a community, how are we going to come together? That's what we need to start talking about, coming together and getting these kids together. Because prayer out of school, the Pledge of Allegiance, the national anthem, which don't really benefit us as Black people, but nonetheless, none of that stuff is in school. And so we as a community have to do something.
I'm not putting.
We gotta come together and quit arguing with one another.
Agreed. Thank you, Andrea, for your call and comment. And I'm hoping that we can see more collaboration. There are some folks who are meeting. The 10-point coalition is actually still out there. They don't have the same resources that they had when they were most effective in the early 2000s. But, and there's some other organizations out there. I'm going to go to Barbara before we run out of time. Barbara, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Pastor Jackson. I've listened, and some I agree with, some I don't. This lady that just hung up, I agree with a lot of what she said. One thing she said, though, that I cannot agree with, she said, like the Pledge of Allegiance prayer and all that, and having anything to do with the Black people. Well, I take that back, because prayer, it needs to be there for not just Black people, but all people. And I have listened on the television about this young lady, 14, and it just breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Because she's still a baby. But what bothers me the most of that is that her family, her uncle, whoever said they hadn't seen her since last Friday with her group of friends, 14 years old, and no one had seen her or had no concerns about her until she was found out there. Oh my God. So we need to work on parenting. We need to work on being a parent, whether you're a single parent or whether father is in the home or mother is in the home. We need to work on parenting, because there's no way a 14-year-old child should not have been seen since the the night before. And so this not just her, and it's many of them. They're out there. We see them. The 10-point coalition, they come after the fact, which most of the programs do come after the fact. We need to be working on something before we get there to help the youth, but to help parents be parents.
All right. Thank you so much for your call and comment. Going to Barbara. Barbara, welcome to the program. Barbara, I think we lost Barbara. All right, Barbara, call us back, 317-972-3008. Is this the same Bob from earlier? Bob, welcome to the program. Maybe it's a different Bob. All right.
No, it's a different Bob.
All right, different Bob. Come on.
Pastor Jackson, before I get into all of this, thank you for what you are doing on the east side of town and what you have been doing. Now, I commute from Detroit and Flint to Indianapolis, and what's going on up in Michigan is, well, let me speak on Detroit and Flint. It's awful. But it's all over. It's not just Indianapolis, but they're handling it a different way. And this is the new year. We have this many murders here in Indianapolis. It just blows my mind. But parenting is. But then you got to ask back and look at who's the parents. If the babies are having babies, who's teaching them? The Julia Carsons are gone. You know, the big mamas are gone. So everybody's looking at TV. Children are doing whatever they want to do. It's out of control. But like you say, it starts at home. And it takes a village to try to help mentor and grow the young people. But you keep up the good work. And I heard a commercial on your station that I thought the governor said, do not play anymore.
All right. Thank you, Bob.
Freedom care. Take care.
All right. Going to Barbara. She's going to be our last call. Barbara, welcome to the program.
Pastor Jackson, I was talking to you the whole time until I heard you say it. But what I was saying, I agree with the lady before me and some of the things that she said, and this Bob as well. Definitely about the parenting. Parents have to be parents, and we can't depend on the street patrols, the 10-point coalition, or any of the other ones because they come after the fact. We have to start in the household. Now, this young lady, God bless her soul, this baby that she was. All I keep hearing is that the last time they saw her was Friday evening when she left with some friends. Well, where the heck was she all night long? We're 14 years old. We have to be responsible, whether there's a one-parent family, two-parent family, whether it's just the father or whether it's just the mother. We have to learn what parenting is and how to be a parent. No, it's not about abusing our children, but it is about being in charge because they don't know what they're supposed to be doing. They don't know where they're going. So they're just like sponges. Whoever I'm with, that's who I'm sucking up to. That's what I'm going to do. So mom, dad, grandma, auntie, somebody's got to take control. 14 years old, I would have been out knocking everywhere I could have. Where is my daughter? It's just sad. And it's not just her. There's so many other ones that are not just 14 that are older, 15, 16. They're still young children that need guidance, but we're not doing that. And is it because we lack guidance ourselves? So I can't give you something I didn't have, but you can learn. You can learn how to be a parent. If you don't have those skills, well, guess what? Stop being parents. Stop having babies.
All right.
Only for them to be left out in the wilderness.
All right, Barbara, thank you for your call and comment. We're out of time. Certainly, I'm an advocate for the community policing model, which is a strategy of law enforcement that focuses on building ties, working closely with community members. It emphasizes proactive problem solving, collaboration, and community engagement to prevent crime and enhance public safety. And that's something I've worked in for more than a couple of decades and look forward to working with folks in our community going forward from today. Thank you for being part of our show on today. From all of us here, we like you, we love you, and you make us smile. Have a great weekend.